Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right. Well, that was it was something. It was fun. You know, listen. I'm not going to sit here and fake it. Okay? You know, if game 1 was game 5 of the World Series, then this game felt a lot like game 4. For those Yankees fans listening, you know, I just, and listen, I'm not saying they're gonna, you know, go out and tank tonight. They could very well win tonight. But like, this was a game where the Knicks won, and I just, it was tough for me to fully jump back in. It is a series, but like, you know the odds, you know the numbers, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm recording this episode a couple of days later on Saturday the 31st, and I'm not recording it the night of Game 5, so the excitement has worn down a little bit, because I was excited then. But let's talk about it. That was a shit way to start the episode. I'm sorry. It was a buzzkill and a half. No, the Knicks won. It was 111-94 in Game 5 on Thursday, and you know, I think they deserve the credit. I didn't think they played smarter. I shouldn't say they didn't play smarter. I thought they played more. Yeah, I don't think it was the IQ that picked up. I think it was, and this is going to be a short episode, by the way. I think what led to this 111-94 win was more than just X's and O's, which we will get into in a little bit. But it was the attention to detail. You know, it was defensively, the focus level and the communication was finally on point, which has been a problem for this Knicks defense all season. Right? How many times have we been talking about this team is just miscommunicating on their switches, and they're just getting put into action and nobody's rotating over, and where's the weak side helper? All that has been a problem this year. It was a lot more sound in this game, and the Knicks were they were more cohesive, and they knew what they were doing on early actions, and they knew what they were doing on ghost screens and double drags and Spain slips, etc., so that it kept them out of rotation. It kept them out of the blender, as you know, a lot of people like to say. And so when you're the Knicks and you take away Indiana's pace, no pun intended, and you take them out of their primary action and you force them to get into their secondary actions and their late clock offense, that's a win. That is 100% a win for you. And I thought that was the biggest takeaway from this game, is that the Knicks didn't let the Pacers play their game. And I thought there were a lot of ways that they did this, and I think it starts with them doing a much better job protecting Jalen Brunson on those pick and rolls. How many times was Mikal Bridges picking up Halliburton a lot higher? Right, he was picking him up higher on the court. I mean, he was pressing him 92, 94 feet, whatever the fuck the court is. And he was forcing higher screens with Brunson. Right? It brought the Knicks as a team higher up in coverage. It allowed Brunson to get back in his hedges. It's not that Mikal was more physical or super aggressive. He was more of a presence there, but it was mainly just simply Bridges making the decision, hey, let me press a little harder and let me pick Halliburton up right off the inbound. Make my presence felt that way. And because of that, Indiana had to kind of rush things more than they wanted to once crossing the timeline, and the Knicks were higher up. And so I thought that helped protect Brunson's hedges. I thought the Knicks did a nice job. One of the things that have given the Knicks problems in this series, those end of the quarter actions, or the Knicks, or Brunson when he's on the floor, is put into action. I thought at the end of the first quarter in this game, the Knicks did a really nice job of pre-switching Brunson out of that TJ McConnell 1-4 flat pick and roll, and they got a nice stop on it. That hasn't been the case through the first 4 games. But because they pre-switched Jalen out of the action, they put Mikal to Brunson's man. The Pacers weren't exactly able to expose that. Brunson couldn't be exploited there. So that was just one of the many different ways the Knicks were protecting Jalen in pick and roll. And I thought Brunson's hedges were much more aggressive. He was going full force with his hedge and recover. It wasn't half hedging or soft hedging, or it wasn't hugging his man and just like he was committing to the hedge and recover. He was showing hard. And again, the Knicks were sending help on Brunson's hedges, and they were rotating off the hedges. They were rotating back sharply too. And because of this, I think the Knicks, when you had those Brunson Towns minutes, it was way more manageable defensively because of this. So, I mean, overall, I do expect the Pacers to make an adjustment. When they're, because the Knicks were rotating on those Brunson hedges, I do think the Indiana Pacers are going to adjust, and they're going to have outlets ready in Nembhard and in their 2 bigs in Siakam and Turner. So the Knicks are going to have to prepare for that. But yeah, I thought the team defense was really, really big. And it improved the Knicks at the point of attack significantly. I mean, you want to talk about defense, OG Anunoby. I thought OG Anunoby was excellent in help. And this is why you want somebody like OG on the least effective offensive threat, like Nembhard. You want to put your best wing defender on the least effective offensive player so he's able to bring help. Right? Nembhard is probably their least effective offensive threat. And what that did by putting OG on him is it allowed the Knicks to cut off Indiana's other pick and roll ball handler. It allowed OG to make help side rotations. And he did an exceptional job in help down the stretch, especially in the fourth quarter. I thought OG on Halliburton, when he was put on to Halliburton, did a nice job. Mikal sat there late in the first half. I thought OG did a nice job when he was on Halliburton, trying to weak him away from those double drags, those 77 actions that they were spamming in Game 4 and really all series. And the Knicks were also allowing Brunson to switch on to Halliburton on occasion too, which, good. You want that. You live with that. I thought Towns did a fine job. Obviously, we're relatively speaking here, but he was competent. by switching him to Siakam, taking him off Miles Turner, and that freed OG Anunoby to guard damn hard. But Towns was fine. He was staying high in coverage at times. I didn't think Indiana at the same time was exposing him as much. I thought they would spam those Halley pick and rolls with Siakam to put Towns in action. I'd have to look back, but they didn't really go to that as much as I expected them to. And Mitchell Robinson, obviously he was on the floor a lot, completely took over that third quarter defensively. The man has been busting his ass this entire postseason, from Detroit to Boston. And although he's had his ups and downs in this series, he's done a very nice job. And he was exceptional in the third quarter on Thursday. His ball pressure, right, showing high when he was in coverage, deflecting the ball in DHO when Indiana was in transition, denying Turner in that one zoom action, just forcing turnovers. He had a block on Thomas Bryant. He blocked Halliburton out of bounds. That was sick. Made me feel good. I thought Landry Shamet and his switches were excellent. I really did like the collective effort when you put everything together defensively. Individually, it just made it one really cohesive unit. I thought offensively, now the Knicks only scored 111 points, but I did like what I saw offensively. I thought the Knicks offense was good from the very get-go. You could see a real effort. Brunson was hot early. They ran a lot of offense out of the chin series, which they run a lot. They do that at the beginning of games. They run a lot of chin offense in their ATOs. But the first two baskets the Knicks got in this game came from the chin series to get Brunson looks off the ball. I think there was a reject. There was a gut Chicago in there. Sorry. Let me fix this mic real quick. Give me 1 sec. All right. Yeah, I thought Brunson was in a lot of horns actions in that third quarter. The Knicks were running a lot of pick and roll out of horn sets where Mitch and Mikal were setting the horns. Precious and Deuce a little bit at the end there. But, running those horns actions, able to put the big into action consistently, able to put Halliburton into action consistently, get that switch. Right, that Brunson-Mitch 1-5 pick and roll continues to be an effective duo this postseason because Mitchell Robinson's roll gravity on Brunson's drives when he comes off prevents help. It takes away help. You can't commit to the help on Jalen if Mitchell Robinson is such a threat when he's coming off the roll. Now, the only thing is when you're playing those Mitch and Hart lineups, which is a pain in the ass sometimes, the Knicks do need to do a better job of positioning Hart on the floor better so that they can't send multiple bodies and help. But I did like the offense for Jalen. I think the Knicks continue to get really good offense for Cat when he's got the 5 on him. In Indiana, I know the Pacers don't really have the personnel that Detroit and Boston may have had to where, they can cross-match. Right, all these switching defenses in the second half of the season have cross-matched Hart and Cat, and it's completely thrown the Knicks off. I just feel like Indiana could at least try to do it. I'm shocked that Carlisle hasn't went to it yet. But for as long as he continues to play it more traditionally, I think the Knicks are going to continue to, take advantage of that with Towns. They had a double drag to get him a 3-point look on the corner early in this game. Mitch rolls behind Indiana in coverage. Obi tags the Mitch roll, which opened up Cat on the corner. You had a dunker pin down for a post touch to get Cat on the small. Strong finish over him. Just a ton of isolation drives when Cat had Turner on him, which, yes, that's what you want. The whole point of having Cat out there is so he could have the 5 on him and take advantage of opposing bigs who are slower and weaker than Towns. He will dominate that matchup. He dominates centers better than anybody in basketball. I thought in the second quarter there, going to that second unit rotation, very good for Towns, right? When he was playing with Wright, Shamet, Deuce, and Hart. The offense prioritizes Towns when he's with those second unit lineups. He had 12 points in the second quarter. I believe 10 of those points came with that lineup. And there's a point in there where I think OG checked in for Deuce. But yeah, those Wright, Shamet, Hart, Deuce/OG lineups alongside Cat, that's it gets him to be the focal point because you don't have Mikal out there and obviously you don't have Jalen out there. But overall, I did think the Knicks offensively did a better job. They weren't just switch hunting for the matchup advantage in isolation, right? They weren't able to spam those Brunson hard pick and rolls just to get the 5 out of the paint. Now, obviously, Towns having the 5 on him was a big reason for that, but overall, a good job offensively. Thought the off-ball screening and the pin downs were there to get the Knicks open looks. And, again, it's just sometimes it can be a tough watch when you have Mitch and Hart sharing the floor. We got to figure that out. Like at the end of the first half there, or in the first half there, I think it was in the second quarter. Tough, but Brunson still got his. Brunson was phenomenal. I'm going to hand the game ball to Jalen Brunson, who scored 32 points on 12 for 18 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, even had a blocked shot. He continues to just be phenomenal, and it's getting overlooked because the Knicks aren't winning the series and they're on the verge of elimination. But the man is averaging 30 points per game for his career in the postseason. Only 13 players in NBA history have averaged 30 points per game in the playoffs with at least 15 games. I mean, it's not getting the attention that it should. He's just been an incredible shot maker this entire postseason. In this series, he's had multiple games where he's just not missed. That turnaround over his left shoulder, it's automatic when he's on the post there. Nembhard, who's supposed to be this Brunson stopper because they want to make some narrative, hilarious how much he's torching him. So that's now 30 game balls on the season for Jalen. Continues to be brilliant. And again, national media, NBA fans, Knick haters, they can talk about how he's small and he's this and he's that and he's not a great defender and he's a ball hog and blah, blah, blah. It's just, you're mad that you're mad that the New York Knicks finally have something here. I think that's it. They're scared. They're afraid. They're pissed off that the New York Knicks can't, you can't use them as the LOL Knicks meme anymore. They have someone. They have one. They have a superstar. And you can't do anything about that. So you want to talk about him foul baiting, but then when he gets his games where he scores 40 on 20 shots only, then you guys bitch about like, oh, all he does is foul bait. But then when he has a game where he scores 30 on 25 shots, you guys call him inefficient because he's not getting to the line. It's like the double standards are crazy, how you guys try to move the goalposts and you try to nitpick. How about just appreciate greatness? How about just realize that each of these players are unique and have different skill sets? How about realize that Jalen Brunson is 6 feet tall, who's not some super athlete, not super explosive, and he's working in a friggin' shoebox with the spacing he's got surrounding him the majority of the time. The guy's got to get buckets any way he can find it. Give him a little respect because he probably has earned it by now. Anyways, go to the bench. Landry Shamet. Handing the game ball to you, man. His first of the postseason, 11 game balls on the season overall. Landry Shamet. Excellent. The defense just standing out. excellent on his switches, guarding the ball super well. Switching onto Siakam in the first half, he gets a stop. Switches onto Halliburton, gets a stop. Switches onto Turner in the fourth quarter there, gets a stop. Under the basket, getting an out of bounds turnover. Like, got a stop on TJ McConnell there. Great in-screen navigation. Really good job there. Forcing turnovers, drawing a key offensive foul there in this game. And he was good offensively too, knocking down a shot or two. Really liked what I saw from Landry Shamet. I thought it was a pretty neat moment there at the end of the game where the Knicks were chanting Landry Shamet, giving him an ovation. That was cool. For a guy who has dealt with a lot, ups and downs, underperformance, injuries. Nice to see this. He's could be brought back now next year. And yeah, like this expanded rotation is it's working. You guys all asked for it, and you're getting it. Even if it's end of the rotation, fringe rotation players, like again, Shamet's been excellent. He's a plus 30 in these last 3 games. Wright's been excellent. He's a plus 23 in these last 3 games. DeLon Wright, I mean, how about him? Switchable defender. Gets stops, deflections. I think it was game 4 where he drew that foul. A great under to draw the offensive foul. Got some open looks in this game, couldn't cash in, but he's hit some shots. The Knicks saw a little bit of him when Brunson went down at the end of the regular season. They liked what they saw, and I think that helped. I don't think we'd be seeing him if Brunson didn't go down. So credit to Tibbs. Ran a 4-man second unit, 9.5 really, rotation really. But yeah, Precious, Wright, Shamet, Deuce, Hart. Ran 10. He ran 10. He ran a 5-man second unit. So it was nice to see that. So that's it, man. I appreciated this win. We'll see how long the Knicks can stay alive here. They have 2 more wins to get. They have to go 2-0 in these next 2 games, which would be 3-0 overall. The odds are against them. But hey, we'll see. So with that said, going to appreciate this win. We're going to head to a break. And then when we get back, we're going to wrap this up with our trivia question, and that's going to be that. Stay with us. Be back in a sec.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. Want everything BD4 in one place? Head to our website at bd4blog.com. You'll find links to every podcast platform, social media, and even our blog, where we dive deeper into all things BD4. Check it out now and stay connected.
Okay, welcome back to the show, episode 872 of the podcast. We are going to wrap this one up now with our trivia question, and that's going to be that. So let's get to it right now. Our trivia question for episode 872 here is a true or false question, all right? True or false? In 81 elimination games all time, the Knicks record is above 500. Is that true or false? In 81 elimination games, the Knicks all-time record is above 500. So let me know the answer wherever you can reach me, folks. I appreciate it. Always do. And with that said, we're going to wrap this one up here at episode 872. The Knicks win Game 5. Nice win. Fun win. did feel a lot like Game 5 of the World Series, or Game 4, sorry. Game 4, where it was like, all right, nice for a night, but I'm not sure I'm back in yet. I don't. Hey, they're down the least amount you could be down in a series. I guess that's the way to look at it. So we'll see what happens. Appreciate you all tuning in. See you very soon. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.